Test miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
From the Test Miles Studios, the American Car Show, we'd like to thank you for being part of our car nation. And I am your host, Nick Miles. Another fun fact, Jen.
Okay, in January of 1924, Walter Chrysler launched the Chrysler 70, which was also called the B70, to represent the speed of 70 miles an hour.
Awesome. Brad, what have you been driving this week?
I didn't get it up to 70, I promise. So this week I had the 2016 Hyundai Tucson, which is the compact crossover. Theoretically 5 passengers, not quite so much, but
skinny passenger.
I did take it up to Mount Hood with the kids on a 2-day trip. And when they say compact crossover, they do mean compact. Because I would have liked the Pacifica with the stow and go.
Right.
But this is the third generation of this vehicle, and it does carry forward that Hyundai's Fluidic Sculpture 2.0 that was first debuted in the 2015 Genesis. So it incorporates the sporty design, refined exterior, and which is really highlighted by all the LEDs. It's a really great-looking vehicle, more interior space. The base model, which fortunately I had the Sport, but is a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder, 164 horsepower engine. And the Eco, the Sport, and the Limited all have the 1.6 liter turbo, which gets better fuel economy than the base model because it has the 7-speed automatic Eco Shift transmission. Base price is $22,700. The Sport goes up to $26,150, but I think that jump of $3,000 or $4,000 is well spent with a lot of the stuff that you get in it.
I'm going to agree with you.
Engine.
I've driven that before, too. You want to spend the extra money.
Yeah, and all-wheel drive adds $1,400. The Tucson's 3 inches longer than its predecessor, and it's got a great 8-inch touchscreen. Tough segment, though. Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, Mazda CX-5.
And the Escape, which is the king of the castle in that segment, too.
Yeah, so it's very competitive in that. And if you like a lot of the features inside, it's good looking. But it's a tough segment. I rank it like second or third in that grouping.
They'll sell 100,000 of them regardless of it. I'm sure they do really well. All right, thanks, Brad. He is the editor and chief of Test Miles. He also writes for the Oregonian and Digital Trends. And this week, Jeff wrote an article about the red light cameras around Oregon and the municipalities who are making loads of money and not necessarily making anything safer. Jeff Serschmidt is here. Jeff, are we being shook up by the local governments to make money out of these red light cameras?
Shook up, shook down. It's actually a nationwide issue. The people who make the red light cameras, the manufacturers, they get into contracts with local municipalities to install these red light cameras and issue tickets automatically. Those contracts have specific levels of tickets that need to be distributed and mailed out and fined against drivers, and then the municipality gets a chunk of that fine revenue, and the company gets a big chunk of that tax revenue or fine revenue, and
it's a tax revenue of some sort.
It's a tax on anybody who's a normal human being trying to drive. We all try to do a good job of obeying the traffic rules. But what they've done in many cases is the Department of Transportation has specific lengths that they suggest for yellow light times, right? They want the yellow light to be on for 5 seconds to give you a chance to see it, respond to it, and stop safely. Well, the contracts that these red light companies force onto these municipalities specify that they have to shorten their yellow light times. And so the yellow light times are now 25% shorter than they were before the red light cameras came into effect.
That's making intersections unsafe, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have time, and you definitely, you want to anchor the brakes so you don't get a ticket, and so there's more likelihood that you'll be rear-ended at an intersection. It doesn't really stop red light violations. And it's making a ton of money for these companies. And the companies, their own executives have admitted that they've bribed officials in 14 states. There was a disgruntled executive who was fired from one of the red light camera companies. And he sued the company. The company sued him. And it got into this whole thing that brought out how many of these companies are actually bribing people around the country for to get into these contracts.
It's a huge story.
The way these are sold to the public by the municipalities is that it's a safety issue. A University of Michigan study came out and said there wasn't a safety problem with this. People weren't randomly just running red lights and causing all sorts of issues.
Yeah.
So in effect, like Jeff said, they've created more danger by shortening the yellow light times.
We'll post the article we'll post a link to the article.
Post a link, yeah. It's on Digital Trends.
Right. We'll post a link to the article on our Facebook at Test Miles. But this is something I wish we had another hour to talk about, Jeff. Jeff will be on again with us next week to talk a little bit about other articles that he has dropping. But Jeff, thank you so much. You did a great job.
Well, if you read the article, there's a whole lot of references to studies, universities, and information. I mean, even the office of the House Majority Leader of the United States House of Representatives has, called these guys out for what they're doing.
I think it's a potential scam, and I also think I alerted Lars this morning, so hopefully Lars will get into it. All right, you got 1 minute, Ryan, to tell us about the Mother's product that you've been testing.
Well, I tested out the Mother's waterless wash and wax this week. We specifically use it for cars that aren't very dirty. We use it just to clean up maybe a slight little mess that's left on it, bird poop, something like that. And I use it specifically myself all the time just because I like my car to stay clean every single day. So.
All right. So, and what sort of job does it do? Does it do a good cleaning job? Is it rough on the paintwork? Is it something that we should be investing in?
You should definitely be investing. It's actually lifting the dirt off the paint so that you can wipe it right off with a microfiber. So it's a lot safer to do it that way.
All right. And this product is available in regular stores?
Yes, this is available in regular stores and available on mothers.com.
All right. That's our product for the week. That's our red light camera story for the week, which will never go away because I'm now a little bit upset about it. We'll have more from the New York show. We'll have loads of stuff coming up next week. This is Test Miles. We're here 24/7 at testmiles.com. You can read all our articles. We'll be back next week. I'm Nick Miles.
Throw it in neutral and coast in with testmiles.com.